everyone, and welcome inside the Gate Sports Center. I'm John Nolan, joined by the former Indiana Tech head coach, Jeff Parrish. Glad to have you with us. And, Jeff, the Mastodons, maybe in some ways, glad to be moving on to the Horizon League next year, at least for head coach John Kaufman. Perhaps a few less gray hairs, not having to go up against this Omaha team. Over the last 9 years, they played 5 overtime games. They nearly had another last month before Omaha prevailed late.
Exactly, John. This team that Purdue Fort Wayne faces tonight, they've had it slugged out over the years. Fort Wayne, though, leads the series 11-8. But if you remember a year ago at the Summit League tournament, they knocked out the John Conchar Mastodons, and that would give me a little chip on the shoulder here tonight. But the Omaha team has won the last 5 in a row.
Yeah, and last year in the Summit League tournament, that was a 1-point game in the semifinals. Similar story last month. It was a game that Omaha wound up winning by 4, and at that point, the Mavs were 5-2 in the conference, but subsequently lost 4 consecutive games before finally getting a win last Sunday against Denver. So here's a look at the league standings brought to you by Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. And Jeff, while neither team really has a shot here at a regular season title, this matchup does have tournament seeding implications.
Yeah, right now the Mastodons not really in a spot where they want to be. A little bit of unfamiliar waters for them. Right now they're looking at North Dakota State square in the eyes, and I don't think Coach Kaufman and the Mastodons want to face them in the first round.
No doubt about it. Like Jeff said, it's been a tight series over the years. Purdue Fort Wayne, the overall advantage 11-8, yet Omaha has won 5 in a row. It's the Dons and the Mavs coming up next.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
At Diamond Residential Mortgage, we understand the importance of keeping pace with technology, and we offer a completely digital loan process to our customers who choose to take advantage of that option. But we also understand the magnitude of a home purchase, and one of our loan officers will work with you every step of the loan process to make sure all your questions are answered and the right type of loan is tailored to fit your needs. See Diamond Residential Mortgage.
Like we talked about, historically, this has been an extremely competitive rivalry, and if you break down the analytics, according to ESPN's Basketball Power Index, the Mastodons are a slight favorite in this game. The folks out west in Las Vegas would concur. Purdue Fort Wayne entering tonight as about a 1.5-point favorite, although Ken Palm pops out numbers that say Omaha is a slight favorite. Either way, expecting a tight game.
In my notes, it says Omaha's won the last 5 games here, John. That's not a good situation. They've won 6 out of the last 7, if you want to take it a step further. And the game that I don't like, they put an end to the Mastodon seasons last year at Sioux Falls in the Summit League tournament, put an end to John Conchar's career 61-60 in that first-round battle in the Summit League tournament. So if I'm the Mastodons, I'm going to have a little chip on my shoulder. They're here in the Gate Center tonight where they play extremely well. So let's see if the crowd can get into it. I see a nice little student section here tonight, so it'll be a fun game.
And last year for Omaha, it was a 21-win season, and from that squad, 3 starters back, KJ Robinson and JT Gibson. They're the guys who make this engine run for Omaha. Seniors in the backcourt, but then down low, Matt Pyle averaging a double-double with 12 points, and he's the top rebounder in the Summit League, averaging 10 boards a game.
I really like that lineup that they have. Number one thing I like about it is KJ and JT. They're both seniors. They're experienced. They know how to get it. They both can score. But what I really like about the lineup, then they got the second weapon on the inside, the big man, Matt Pyle, the 6'8" forward junior, averaging a double-double this year. about 12 points, 10 rebounds a game. So they got great balance. They got great perimeter players, and they got a strong man in the post. And that's going to be a handful for the Mastodons, I think, right now.
And meanwhile, in talking with Omaha head coach Darren Hansen, the first name on the scouting report for his team to be wary of, Jared Godfrey, the sophomore point guard from Atlanta, leads the Mastodons in scoring and assists, averaging 15 and 3.
Yes, this has been Jared's team so far this year. He's been the one that's kind of been the most consistent of all these starters, and Coach Kaufman's used this starting lineup throughout the Summit League. He's comfortable with it, and I look for him to go through with this lineup all the way through the Summit League. But tonight, hey, somebody needs to be a superstar. We need a couple wins to finish out this season. We got, 3 games left after tonight. We need some victories here to bump us up in the standings a little bit, because we don't want to look at North Dakota State in the eyeballs that first round of the Summit League tournament.
The Mastodons under John Kaufman had 1-2 in a row, but then last weekend on the road dropped consecutive games at North Dakota State and then South Dakota State. Kaufman's counterpart, Darren Hansen, a Nebraska native who's been leading the Mavericks through their transition from Division II to Division I nearly a decade ago, and the reigning Summit League Coach of the Year.
Had a great season last year, in his 14th year now in Omaha. He knows what it's all about. He's done a great job in the transition, where he got his team last year as a runner-up in the Summit League.
Omaha in black, Purdue Fort Wayne in white, and we're underway.
What I'm really looking for out of the white jerseys tonight, John, is a little burn in their stomach, a little urgency.
Well, Coach Kaufman said that was there in practice earlier this week. Guys were really getting after it. And here an offensive rebound sets up Matt Holba, who knocks it down.
It's always a good sign when Matt hits his first shot of the game. That gives him confidence throughout the night. Let's see if that just lifts the Mastodons off to a good start, which they've struggled with from time to time this year.
Most recently did have a strong start at South Dakota State. They led by as many as 14 in the first half before unraveling in the second half and losing by 11. Shot clock down to 5. And it's a contested shot for KJ Robinson. Splash. Mastodons with pace. Brian Patrick puts it in.
He's another one with a load of experience for the Mastodons, who he needs to step up his game here tonight as well. That's a good start for Brian.
In the first meeting between these two last month in Nebraska, it was Omaha that had the better start, led by 13 in the first half, before the Mastodons had a furious rally, wound up leading by 5 with about 4 minutes to go, only to falter late. See our officials tonight: Tim Stewart, Tyler Crump, and Dave Cronin. Holba again for 3. Not this time.
Right here, the Mastodons, they got to match up on the perimeter. They got to know where KJ and JT are on the perimeter when they're looking for that three-point shot and the penetration.
It's Gibson penetrating and scoring off the window.
So far, John, it looks like Omaha, they're pretty comfortable playing in the Gate Center as well.
They won here last season in one of those overtime games. Gibson, rise and fire, no. A rebound for Holba. Brian Patrick, Kansas State transfer, a little shake. Pick and roll, Dylan Carl, fouled. Goes against Wanyang Tut, a redshirt sophomore.
It's a good look by Brian that time off the ball screen. Dylan rolled to the basket. He was wide open, and Omaha slaps him across the wrist.
Carl, the redshirt junior from Alma, Michigan, considering he's 6'11", has a good touch at the line.
That we've talked about Dylan over the course of the year. At 6'11", he does have good perimeter skills. You can see him step out possibly, shoot the three-pointer. He's done that often throughout the year.
Iron unkind that time. So Omaha smack in the middle of the Summit League standings right now. in 5th place in the 9-team league. While Purdue Fort Wayne currently in 7th with a chance to catch Omaha here late in the season. That bucket, though, for Zach Thornhill doesn't help. Jared Godfrey tees it up. Doesn't drop. Purdue Fort Wayne 1 for 5 from 3. Carl reaches in, and it's a foul against him, guarding Matt Pyle in the post.
Matt Pyle, big and strong, 6'8", getting position on the low post that time. He knows how to use his body real well on the post up. He sealed off Dillon, and Dillon got called for the foul reaching around.
Yeah, not only is Pyle really good, he's really smart too, both on the floor and off.
A lot of time.
We've academic All-American for Omaha.
That was announced earlier today, a 2nd consecutive year that Pyle, a junior from Kansas, has earned that honor. Turnover, transition. Patrick knocks it out of bounds. It stays with the Mavs.
So far, Omaha very, very comfortable on offense to start the game. A lot of confidence in them, real smooth offensively, looking for their jumper. Like I said, getting the ball inside, and they got that perimeter game as well.
Thornhill along Jay, in and out. That was dislodged from Patrick, no foul, but it does stay with the Mastodons. Holba had trouble with the catch. A handoff for Godfrey. Good.
Jared Godfrey with the smooth jump shot from the top of the key. Had his feet slapped nice and squared up with his body. Great follow through for the jump shot.
When Godfrey shoots it well from 3, the Mastodons tend to win. That's in and out for Robinson. Next whistle will bring us to our first media timeout. Cam Benford with the left hand.
There's Cam Benford coming in for Dylan Carl. Gives the Mastodons a little bit of energy on the inside with the left-handed lay-in.
Benford usually is an energy provider for the Dons. Though he is prone to foul trouble, he commits his first right here. We'll have more on Benford on the other side. Almost 5 minutes in. It's a 1-point game between the Mastodons and the Mavericks.
Getting cash back in your pocket with every purchase you make? With a Visa Rewards credit card from Fort Financial, you can earn 1% back on everything you buy. And a low introductory rate of just 3.9% APR, with no annual fees or balance transfer fees, so you can consolidate debt. You even get online access to view transactions or pay bills. Stop by your local branch or fortfinancialcu.org today. Fort Financial. It's time to live your dreams.
Purdue Fort Wayne hosting Omaha, and no, that's not a WWE superstar. It's Purdue Fort Wayne big man Cameron Benford styling a championship belt. Don's head coach John Kaufman has been imploring his team to win ugly of late, to have a whatever it takes kind of mentality, and no one perhaps has embodied that better than Benford, who won their weekly award last week, and there was his prize.
Styling in the locker room there with the big belt on, red and black. You always have the shoes to match. You got to have the shoes to match if you're going to be styling in college.
Well, drip there for Benford, and For a guy who only averages about 15 minutes per game off the bench, he's top 10 in the league in offensive rebounding, a stat that really exemplifies that hustle.
He's always moving. He's on the move. He's always, when that shot goes up, he's looking for little slots to get into and keep the ball alive. But that last foul is going to cost him. He's going to go to the bench. We got Big Josh in the game now.
Josh Nkumsa, number 31, guarding Matt Pyle. He's the third string big guy. The starter, Dylan Carl, also on the bench with one foul now as well. JT Gibson for three, no good. And Marcus DeBerry, who's come in off the bench himself with the rebound. Jared Godfrey whistled for a travel. By the way, Jeff, do have to say, I think the only one here in this building with better style than Cameron would have to be yourself.
My mom did well when I was younger.
No question. I've been asking all season if you can pass along the style guide, and I'm still waiting. We've got one more to go after this. The runner in for Darius Hughes, a freshman from Kansas City, in off the bench.
It was a nice, stylish little running jump hook in the lane.
He only averages 3 points a game in minimal time, but plays a factor in raising the lead to 3 for Omaha. Get it to Mavericks team that just snapped a 4-game skid a last time out when they defeated a last-place Denver. Purdue Fort Wayne had won 2 of 3 at home a couple weeks ago, just when it was starting to feel good about itself, though. Then had a tough road trip against the top 2 teams in the league last weekend and took L's at North Dakota State and South Dakota State.
They had a rough weekend in the Dakotas last week, and I'm sure they're glad to be playing here in the Gate Center tonight against Omaha. Even though they've won 5 of the last 5 games, Omaha only wins 2 games on the road this year.
And one of them, believe it or not, was against a Pac-12 school at Washington State. JT Gibson expands the lead to 5 for Omaha. Mavericks, middle of the pack right now in the Summit League. Purdue Fort Wayne on their heels. No good for Demir Black. Marlon Ruffin, a junior college transfer. And right now the reserves for Omaha giving them a lift.
Giving the reserves a lift here, putting it on the bench players for Purdue Fort Wayne.
Marcus DeBerry has the second best assist to turnover rate in the league. Nearly had an assist, but Black missed the corner pop. Now transition for the Mavs. Robinson, the floater, no. A bunny inside won't go for Hughes. Where do the Mastodons go here to get back on track?
Well, they just seem a little out of sync. They're falling down and going to the basket like we see Deontay right there. They just seem a little out of sync offensively. Where Omaha, they're very, very comfortable offensively. They're pushing that ball up and they're getting some easy looks. They're getting drives to the basket. Like I said, the urgency. I don't see the urgency out of the white shirts right now. You can see Coach Kaufman, he's been going to his bench ever since about the 18-minute mark in the game, and the bench is not really giving any kind of urgency or effort either.
6-0 run for the Mavericks. Mastodons haven't scored in 2.5 minutes. Holba up top, splash.
About the same spot he hit that first one from. But they got to dig in here and they got to play some defense. They got to get some consecutive stops.
Holba has been streaky this year, but right now trending up from distance in conference play. Shooting 51% from 3 over the last 7.
Right there. Now here's where the Mastodons, they got to start pushing that ball a little bit harder.
Tion Rollins in off the bench, driving to the cup, draws a foul.
Right, they got something positive out of that. Tion got into the lane, got to the basket, and got fouled. They're going to give him 2 shots. So positive there. They pushed the ball that time. I'd like to see him in transition go a little bit faster. I don't see him running hard like we've seen the Mastodons in the past years.
Well, like we said, it's been a win ugly kind of mentality for the Mastodons towards the bottom half of the Summit League. in points per game, although towards the top half in points against per game, compared to recent years where the Dons played at one of the fastest paces in the entire country. It's 1 of 2 for Rollins, the redshirt freshman, who's only the 9th or 10th guy in this rotation. So far, both sides not shy about going to the bench here midway through the first half. Strong take by Hughes, and he's fouled.
So right there, somebody's got to come over from the weak side, and they got to stop that penetration, take a charge, make him pick up his dribble. You cannot let him get all the way to the rim.
Foul goes against the guard, Demir Black. Midway through the first half, it's Omaha on the road, up by 3.
This little pumpkin's BB. She's my baby, and that's why I'm here.
All right, looking for something pooch-friendly?
Yes, I want Pumpkin here to feel safe and snuggly when I want to feel rugged.
Well, we got plenty of Jeeps, Durangos, plenty of room for the dog in the back.
How many will fit comfortably?
7 or 8 adults.
How many dogs?
Oh, 11, 12.
Shotgun, BB.
13.
Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. We've been fetching deals since 1979.
Drive a Scat Pack Dodge Charger over $10,000 off MSRP with Dodge Power Dollars at Glenbrook Dodge.
Oh, she got a little too excited.
I'll get a towel.
In its 4th decade, the Summit League continues its ascent through excellence in the classroom and success in the field of play. In cities big and small, at public and private universities, more than 120,000 students across 9 institutions reach for the summit. From academic All-Americans to NCAA champions and nationally ranked teams, Summit League student athletes achieve the pinnacle of success. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
Well, Sunday night, the 69th NBA All-Star Game was in Chicago, but did you know that Fort Wayne hosted the 3rd ever NBA All-Star Game? It was just across the street from here at Memorial Coliseum. There's a good look at Hall of Famer George Mikan of the Lakers, who is the game's MVP. And Jeff, how about this? That one was broadcast on radio by Marty Glickman. He was the first national voice of the NBA, and he called it alongside Fort Wayne Pistons broadcaster Hilliard Gates, for whom this building that we're in is named after.
Hilliard Gates, a longtime sportscaster here in Fort Wayne, did a lot for Fort Wayne athletics, and he did some national athletics as well, but that's how we got the Gates Center here on the campus of Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yeah, such an impressive resume for Hilliard Gates, who along the way called a Rose Bowl on national TV and was a fixture here locally. Such a rich tradition here in Fort Wayne, not only sports-wise, but broadcasting-wise, too. Of course, with the legendary voice of the Comets, Bob Chase. Darius Hughes pushes the lead to 5 for Omaha. Marcus D. Berry catch and shoot, and a rebound for Matt Pyle, the Summit League leader in that category. Ruffin. Rollins has the loose ball. Nice pass, and Carl throws it down.
Awesome pass that time by Tion Rollins inside. Dylan, excellent catch, excellent flush with the dunk.
Rollins has averaged only 1 point and not even 1 assist per game in just 7 minutes of contest. Playing a role here in this first half. No good for Ayo Akinwole.
He could be kind of Coach Kaufman's feeling a little bit uneasy with his lineup. He's trying to find that combination that's going to work for him here tonight.
Rollins right now playing with the starting point guard, Jared Godfrey. No good from outside for Rollins. Pyle in the post, doubled. It'll stay with the Mavericks.
You see that time Mastodons did a great job, almost triple teamed Matt Pyle on the post that time. They're very, very aware where he's at and when he's posting up hard.
Again, Matt Pyle averaging a double-double, first in the league in not only rebounds but also blocks. He's not a guy who's going to beat you from the outside here on the offensive end. Has not even attempted a three this year. But he makes his twos at 58%, top 5 in the league there as well. Shot clock down at 2. It's KJ Robinson with the leaner, beats the clock and gets it to go. Ryan Patrick lost it in traffic, and will stay with Purdue Fort Wayne. Deontay Billups has been quiet so far. The freshman has really provided a spark throughout league play. Godfrey fires. Benford in the mix on the offensive glass. And it's last out off Omaha.
Right there's a perfect example of Cam Benford being active. He was battling 2 Omaha guys that time, going for the offensive rebound. And luckily he got in there, and Omaha tipped it out of bounds.
Yeah, one of those plays that doesn't show up in the box score, but part of what makes Benford valuable. Olba's value comes from 3-point range. And in this case, he sets up Benford for another offensive rebound. Another good thing happens here as he draws a foul.
Especially on Matt Pyle. That time he had him boxed out on the offensive end that time. You usually talk about boxing out players on the defensive end. Benford had Matt Pyle boxed out on the offensive glass and had perfect position.
First foul on Pyle. And now a foul called against Zach Thornhill on a reach in.
Deontay had him beat that time, and his last resort was to reach in and foul.
First on Thornhill as well. Billups spins, doesn't go. Benford helps to keep it alive, so does Billups. Holba, a kick out. Billups. Benford again sets it up for Billups, who's going to the line. What is that, the 5th shot of the possession for John Kaufman's team? Relentless on the offensive glass.
Keeping it alive, tipping it, grabbing it, tipping it, always tipping it to a white shirt. Keeping it alive on the offensive possession.
Deontay Billups has started fewer than half of Purdue Fort Wayne's games this year, yet he has emerged as the team's leading rebounder. The true freshman from Moline, Illinois, in the Quad Cities area at 6'4". Again, the top rebounder on the squad. And in recent history for the Macedons, as Billups has averaged 8 points a game, and even better than that in league play when his minutes have gone up. 11 points per game in conference. It's the most points per game from a true freshman since Mo Evans 6 years ago.
Coach Kaufman's always talked highly of Deontay. Even in fall practice, he was high on him, but he didn't think he was quite ready for that starting spot. But he knew in the back of his mind he had the tools to contribute this year.
And boy, has he. Robinson, a deep 3. No good. Benford, the bucket on the dish from Godfrey.
Good job that time by Jared to see the open Cam Benford on the inside. Because that Cam Benford had his hand up calling for the ball, and Jared was able to deliver it to that open hand.
Benford only averages 1 basket a game. He's already got 4 here in the first 12 minutes. Don's within a point after trailing by 7 a few minutes ago. Gibson, shot clock down to 3. Tough shot. And the rebound controlled by Billups. Macedons can take the lead here. Godfrey, the crossover, and the finish.
Good penetration by Jared that time, pushing the ball up off the Omaha miss that time. And what you're seeing right now, number one, Omaha getting a little bit of tiredness in their legs, and they're settling for jump shots every possession.
Macedons are really making them work. Thornhill, a kick out. And inside 2 for Hughes. Patrick. Yes.
Good to see Brian hit one. I always kind of wonder about Brian, where he's at in the game from time to time. There's very little emotion out of him, and when he hits one, that tells me he's going to be feeling good.
And right now, another thing for the Mastodons to feel good about, a foul here against Omaha. It was Matt Holba who had the box out, and the foul against the Mavericks, their 7th of the half, so Holba will head to the line on the other side. Tion Rollins and the Mastodons looking good in the first half against Omaha.
Dreaming of getting cash back in your pocket with every purchase you make? With a Visa Rewards credit card from Fort Financial, you can earn 1% back on everything you buy and a low introductory rate of just 3.9% APR with no annual fees or balance transfer fees, so you can consolidate debt. You even get online access to view transactions or pay bills. Stop by your local branch or fortfinancialcu.org today. Fort Financial. It's time to live your dreams.
My philosophy has always been, what would I do if this was my mother?
You have the blessing from God to know that you're serving in a capacity that you truly love. This isn't a job to me.
They're coming to us at their most vulnerable. They're coming to us at a time when they're dealing with something totally unexpected.
And when you see people go through that every day, it kind of gives you motivation to be your best.
We have some of the best clinical staff that I have ever worked with in my 20-some years of healthcare.
Purdue Fort Wayne hosting Omaha tonight. The Mavericks athletics department is run by a former Indianapolis Colts linebacker, Trev Alberts, who is also a broadcaster at ESPN. And well, their basketball program is certainly on the rise. They've been knocking on the door of the Big Dance. They're probably more of a hockey school, having it made it to the Frozen Four recently. And speaking of the ice, their Baxter Arena also plays home to U.S. curling.
One of the nicer arenas in the Summit League, Omaha has. That's probably one of the reasons they're so tough at home.
Yeah, second in the league in attendance this year, and it's led to an 11-2 mark at home, but they're 2-12 on the road. Matt Holba shooting 1-1 earns another and pushes the Purdue Fort Wayne lead to 3. Mastodons can certainly relate to the struggles for Omaha. Purdue Fort Wayne 9-4 at home and just 3-12 away from here. Both coaches, when you talk to them, sounds similar. Their team's still striving for consistency, especially trying to play a full 40 minutes on the road.
That's been a headache for Coach Kaufman all years, that the word consistency with this team. And you can see right here that the Mastodons sense the momentum changing a little bit here with about 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the half.
6-0 run right now for Purdue Fort Wayne. Omaha at one point led by as many as 7. Mastodons have turned it around though with their defense. Tough pass right there from Demir Black for Dylan Carl to be able to handle as he was doubled. A giveaway here leads to KJ Robinson flipping it up, and a rebound hauled in by Deontay Billups.
Been a little bit of a dry spell here for Omaha last several possessions.
But now back-to-back turnovers for the Mastodons.
Here we go.
Catch and shoot for Zach Thornhill, no good. Omaha only averages 6 made threes per game, and they get most of those from KJ Robinson and JT Gibson. Brian Patrick, corner pop. Holba tips it, but no one there on the other end.
That was a good look by Brian that time. He elevated, squared up, good form that time, just a little bit long.
Patrick with the steal, and Patrick is all alone. Showtime! Timeout, Omaha. That one will be worth another look, and perhaps worth a look tonight on SportsCenter. Hashtag SC Top 10 nominee for Brian Patrick with a little bounce. What do you think of that one?
Breakaway dunk. Always good to get the fans excited. Got a quick timeout out of Coach Hansen on the other end. Definitely the momentum is in the Mastodons' favor right now with about 5 minutes to go in the half.
Looks like a scene from Chicago on Saturday night with the NBA dunk contest. Zach Thornhill, the closest player to Patrick right there. He himself, actually, back in high school in Kansas, won an all-star dunk contest for high school players in Kansas and Missouri. Well, out of the timeout, there's an answer for Omaha. They go to their senior leader, KJ Robinson. Each side with only 2 seniors on the roster. Marcus DeBerry, one of them for the Mastodons, who poked that towards Patrick to retain possession. The shot clock at 10. Patrick is bumped, and it's a foul against Darius Hughes.
Put the Mastodons at the line for the bonus.
Here's their second there on Hughes, and 1-1 for Patrick.
Here's where the Mastodons can really make some gravy right here is at the free throw line, knocking down these free throws to extend that lead out.
And as a team, the Mastodons have left something to be desired at the line, shooting 67%, but Brian Patrick has been the team's best foul shooter at 81%, towards the top and the Summit League. Robinson to the 10.
Right there's that transition. We don't want Omaha to get in transition. Right there, the Mastodons didn't get back on defense. Kind of lackadaisically got back.
Critical swing. Missed on the front end of the 1-and-1 to a transition basket for Omaha, and now a turnover to exacerbate issues. Now Tion Rollins coming in.
So I give Coach Hansen from Omaha a little bit of credit there. He saw the run starting for the Mastodons. He got that quick timeout after the Patrick dunk. He settled his team down. He's got him back in the game within 2 points.
Chance to tie or take the lead. Thornhill throws it up, no good. Ripped it away from Godfrey. And then it's a foul on Jared Godfrey. That said, only the 5th against Purdue Fort Wayne. Omaha not yet in the bonus. And I should say just the 4th on the Mastodons. They entered this game committing the 2nd fewest fouls in the Summit League. Only 15 per contest on average. That's impressive considering the caliber of defense that they have played too. In and out for Akinwole, but kept alive, and Omaha has a fresh shot clock. Tough pass for Robinson. It's saved by Thornhill. Shot clock at 5. Robinson releases. Another offensive rebound for Marlon Ruffin, and he scores, banking it in.
We saw several possessions ago the Mastodons get 4 or 5 offensive rebounds. We just seen Omaha do the same thing and capitalized on it too to tie the game.
Marcus DeBerry. 6 offensive rebounds so far, by the way, for the Mastodons, and 4 for the Mavericks. Elbow jumper for Akinwole. Can't get it. Demir Black brings it down the floor with pace. That's off the leg of Black, and Omaha will get it when we come back. Under 3 to go in the first half, and we're all tied up at 30.
Diamond Residential Mortgage, we understand the importance of keeping pace with technology, and we offer a completely digital loan process to our customers who choose to take advantage of that option. But we also understand the magnitude of a home purchase, and one of our loan officers will work with you every step of the loan process to make sure all your questions are answered and the right type of loan is tailored to fit your needs. See Diamond Residential Mortgage.
Every time you show up, you make the game, and they make history. March 28th and 30th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nothing beats the crowd. Visit ncaa.com/WBB tickets to get your seats today.
Macedon Basketball is brought to you in part by CVS. Have you had your flu shot yet? If not, visit the CVS on Hobson Road, located next to Purdue Fort Wayne Student Housing. It's free with most insurance, and you can walk in without an appointment. Don't be caught with the flu this year. Visit CVS. A look at downtown Fort Wayne, and just a few miles away on the campus of Purdue Fort Wayne, the Macedons hosting the Omaha Mavericks. Tied at 30 with 2:50 to go in the first half. Cameron Benford with a steal. Jared Godfrey kicks it out to Benford. He's not a threat from outside. Tion Rollins finds Matt Holba, catch and shoot. Benford, as per usual, in there for an offensive rebound, but instead it's Omaha the other way with a chance to retake the lead. Tut, nice move underneath.
Well, that was a nice up and under that time by Tut with the left hand. Split Purdue Fort Wayne defenders.
Godfrey, good.
Another great move by Jared. Little floater in the lane to match that move Tut just put on the Macedons.
Back and forth here in this first half. Marlon Ruffin.
Look at Marlon Ruffin. He's got the glasses on. You just don't expect too much out of him. And he's been taking it right to the basket for Omaha.
And Tion Rollins, another guy you wouldn't expect it from, off the bench. Ties it once more. Ayo Akinwole on the drive, fouled.
But their little miscommunication by the Macedons on defense that time, kind of used a little bit of a moving screen that time, but there was no talk. And he got free to the basket, luckily got fouled.
Went on Tion Rollins, the team's fifth. Omaha not yet in the bonus. Dylan Carl replaces Cam Benford. Tut, no. A tip in, still no. And a rebound for Carl. Deontay Billups. Macedons tied right now, despite the fact that they're just 4 of 17 from 3. That's 23% from the outside. Omaha, for its part, just 2 for 9, 22%. Thornhill, that's a long 2. Good transition defense for Omaha. Now in the half court, Carl posting up. Carl kicks. It's Godfrey.
Godfrey a little bit too long on that one. 20 seconds left. Let's see if the Macedons pick him up a little bit in the backcourt here. Try to prevent that last second shot.
One thing to keep in mind right now, Purdue Fort Wayne with a foul to give.
That's why they can be a little extra aggressive in the full court, picking them up all the way. They can go for that steal, and if they don't come up and steal, hey, make the referee call the foul. But we're gonna.
Shot clock off.
Right here they need good communication on the screens, stop the penetration.
Robinson for Akinwole. Nope. And fittingly, the first half comes to a conclusion tied at 34. We told you it was going to be a competitive game. Over the last 9 years, these two have played 5 games that have gone to overtime. They've played 12 in a row, decided by single digits, and we're on track for that yet again.
Exactly, 34-34. Both teams have had the lead at certain times. Omaha jumped out to that quick 7-point lead. Macedon's kind of turned the tempo around and got the lead themselves. But a quick timeout after that great play by Brian Patrick with the steal at half court and the dunk. Coach Hansen calls timeout, and he settled his team down and got the game tied again here at halftime.
And coming up on our Lutheran Health Network halftime report, we'll have highlights and stats from the first 20 minutes here between the Macedons and the Mavericks, and also a check on the road to Sioux Falls.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
Dreaming of getting cash back in your pocket with every purchase you make? With a Visa Rewards credit card from Fort Financial, you can earn 1% back on everything you buy. And a low introductory rate of just 3.9% APR. With no annual fees or balance transfer fees, so you can consolidate debt. You even get online access to view transactions or pay bills. Stop by your local branch or fortfinancialcu.org today. Fort Financial. It's time to live your dreams.
This little pumpkin's BB. She's my baby, and that's why I'm here.
All right, looking for something pooch-friendly?
Yes, I want Pumpkin here to feel safe and snuggly when I want to feel rugged.
Well, we got plenty of Jeeps, Durangos, plenty of room for the dog in the back.
How many will fit comfortably?
7 or 8 adults.
How many dogs?
Oh, 11, 12.
Shotgun, BB.
13.
Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. We've been fetching deals since 1979.
Drive a Scat Pack Dodge Charger over $10,000 off MSRP with Dodge Power Dollars at Glenbrook Dodge.
Oh, she got a little too excited.
I'll get a towel.
Purdue Fort Wayne basketball. Buy your tickets now.
Hello, just 2.5 weeks away now from the Summit League Basketball Championships. Back in October of last year, the South Dakota State University men were picked to finish 5th in the preseason poll of the league's head coaches, sports information directors, and select media members. Out of 34 voters, 2 of them picked SDSU to actually win the league. There was 1 coach and 1 member of the media. And don't know who they are, but they might end up being right. With just 2 weeks left to play, SDSU all alone right now in first place at 11-2. The Jacks ran their home win streak to 23 in a row on Sunday, but had to come up with a huge second half comeback against Purdue Fort Wayne. The Dons had 9 first half steals. They had 15 points off turnovers in the first half to take a 10-point halftime lead, but SDSU went on a 12-0 run to start the second half. The Jacks go from 10 down to up by as many as 23 in the second half, and SDSU wins at 75-64. Matt Dentlinger makes all 8 shots he takes on his way to 18 points and 10 rebounds. Dentlinger is shooting 69% from the field to lead the Summer League right now. And the Jacks have won 6 in a row, SDSU on top at 11-2. North Dakota State has won 6 in a row as well. The second place Bison play at third place South Dakota on Wednesday night in the game of the week. The Coyotes had won 7 in a row, but they had that streak stopped in a loss at Oral Roberts. ORU had 4 players in that game with at least 17 points, led by Emmanuel Nezekwezi with 23. North Dakota is holding steady at the 500 mark. The Hawks host the league leaders this week. South Dakota State goes to Grand Forks on Wednesday. North Dakota State is at UND on Saturday. Omaha stopped the 4-game skid with a home win over Denver on Sunday. Purdue-Fort Wayne is looking like they will finish no worse than 7th, and the 8th spot, the last spot in the Summer League tournament, still up for grabs between Western Illinois and Denver. Meanwhile, the South Dakota women get to 13-0 in the Summit League with a blowout win at home and then a close call on the road. The Yotes beat Western Illinois in Vermilion 88-51. Hannah Shervin 18 points and 11 rebounds in just 16 minutes in that game for South Dakota. So they get the win there to make it 12 in a row. And then USD was at Oral Roberts on Saturday. ORU was within 2 points late in the game, but USD pulled it out 77-73. So the Yotes now with a 2-game lead because South Dakota State lost at home to Denver on Thursday. The Jacks did come back and beat Purdue-Fort Wayne by 45 on Saturday. Western Illinois with a home win over North Dakota to get to 8-5. ORU was a game back at 7-6. Denver has won 3 in a row now to jump into 5th place. The Pioneers don't play again until Sunday when they will host Oral Roberts. UND has dropped 3 in a row with South Dakota State coming to Grand Forks on Thursday. North Dakota State still could finish anywhere from 7th to 3rd depending on what happens in the next 2 weeks, but the Bison with 5 Summit League wins so far. Omaha plays at Fort Wayne on Saturday in a game that could determine whether the Mavs or the Dons will make the Summit League tournament.
The Summit League tournaments are live on Midco Sports Network. Watch all the action and check out bonus coverage online and on our social media channels. Midco SN is your tournament headquarters.
Purdue University, Fort Wayne, where ambition meets action, where 10,000 mastodons gather each year to pursue an education with purpose, all seeking a prestigious Purdue University degree. With our 5 colleges, we graduate artists, scientists, teachers, entrepreneurs, inventors, programmers, economists, business professionals, musicians, thinkers, and creators. All difference makers and world changers. Among those students are the Purdue-Fort Wayne student athletes, the dunkers, spikers, and sprinters who fuel pride in our campus. They excel in more than competition. Our student athletes consistently average GPAs north of 3.0. They come to us from 20 states and 13 countries, and they contribute more than 3,000 hours of community service each year. Purdue-Fort Wayne is where education, work, and life come together to maximize student success and opportunity. Our small class sizes foster big personal growth, resulting in boundless opportunities. Our campus attracts talent, amplifies it, and sends it back out into the world. Our outstanding faculty members work with, nurture, and support our students. From orientation through commencement, they often form lifelong bonds. We're about change and impact, taking an idea and putting it into action. We're about challenging our students to achieve more, to develop the critical thinking and skills to take on the world. We're about groundbreaking research that allows our students to work alongside faculty to pursue the real-world application of knowledge. We're about a vibrant and active campus. We're about co-ops and internships and partnerships that provide exceptional career opportunities for our students. It's no surprise that Purdue-Fort Wayne is a powerful economic engine for our region, our state, and beyond. Our alumni have an annual economic impact of $11 billion on the Hoosier State and fuel more than 100,000 jobs a year. Our campus is the epicenter of culture and entertainment for the region, hosting hundreds of events, lectures, music and theater performances, exhibitions, and NCAA Division I athletic events annually. We embrace cultural diversity and to become the university of choice for students from nearly 50 countries. And for our mastodons who want to see the world, we offer more than 500 study abroad opportunities. Purdue-Fort Wayne is about Fort Wayne. It's not just a city, it's our home. It's what binds us together and sets us apart. It's large enough for opportunity and small enough to make anyone feel right at home. This is our city. This is our university. And this is an education with purpose. We are Purdue University, Fort Wayne.
This is a place where compassion lives. Strength does too. Experience, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to caring for hearts of all ages. This is Lutheran Heart Center, where an elite team of professionals comes together to work as one. From preventive screenings to complex procedures, advanced and comprehensive heart care lives here.
Every time you show up, you make the game, and they make history. March 28th and 30th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nothing beats the crowd. Visit ncaa.com/WBB tickets to get your seats today.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
Big shots. Big dunks. This trophy is not given. It must be earned. The 2020 NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Quarterfinals and Semifinals. March 20th and 21st at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum Arena in Fort Wayne.
With his third triple.
Visit ncaa.com/tickets and secure your seats today.
Dreaming of getting cash back in your pocket with every purchase you make? With a Visa Rewards credit card from Fort Financial, you can earn 1% back on everything you buy. And a low introductory rate of just 3.9% APR, with no annual fees or balance transfer fees, so you can consolidate debt. You even get online access to view transactions or pay bills. Stop by your local branch or fortfinancialcu.org today. Fort Financial. It's time to live your dreams.
This little pumpkin's BB. She's my baby, and that's why I'm here.
All right, looking for something pooch-friendly?
Yes, I want Pumpkin here to feel safe and snuggly when I want to feel rugged.
Well, we got plenty of Jeeps, Durangos, plenty of room for the dog in the back.
How many will fit comfortably?
7 or 8 adults.
How many dogs?
Oh, 11, 12.
Shotgun, BB.
13.
Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. We've been fetching deals since 1979.
Drive a Scat Pack Dodge Charger over $10,000 off MSRP with Dodge Power Dollars at Glenbrook Dodge.
Oh, she got a little too excited.
I'll get a towel.
Purdue Fort Wayne basketball. Buy your tickets now.
This is where ambition meets action. Where you can experience everything and become anything. So ask yourself, what are you going to be?
A business leader.
An artist.
A scientist.
A difference maker.
A game changer.
This is an education with purpose. We are Purdue University, Fort Wayne.
Back inside the Hilliard Gates Sports Center on the campus of Purdue Fort Wayne, where the Mastodons are even with the Omaha Mavericks here at the half. Thanks again for making us part of your Thursday night late stretch here in the regular season with Jeff Parrish. I'm John Nolan, and Jeff,
put those two guys in the game right there.
I don't know about that one, maybe for your size inside, but this one we expected a tight game. That's what we got in the first half. Back and forth, multiple ties, multiple lead changes, and fitting here for a rivalry that's been so close for about a decade.
It's going to be tight going all the way down the stretch. One thing I really like out of both teams is the turnover rate so far. Omaha only 3 turnovers the first half. The Mastodons only 6 turnovers. That's got to be pleasing to both coaches. One thing that I'm a little concerned about, we have not seen much of Matt Pyle the first half. 0 points. He spent only 10 minutes on the floor, got into a little foul trouble, picked up 2 fouls. So what kind of factor is he going to be here in the second half?
Yeah, no points, 4 rebounds, and none of them on the offensive glass, and that's for a guy who has averaged a double-double this season. We checked the first half stats. They're brought to you by Poly Pro Concrete Coatings, and beyond Pyle's individual numbers, no one in the first half was in double figures scoring. Both teams, whether you want to chalk it up to strong defense, that was certainly part of it. Also just some open looks that didn't go down. Like we talked about, Omaha, a team that doesn't make too many threes, only averaging 6 per game. The Mastodons average 8 made threes per game, so they're about on track for that.
It's just going to be a slugfest, I think, the rest of the game. Whoever has that last run in them towards the end of the second half, I think is going to come out on top. We've seen multiple runs by both teams. Both teams have had a little bit of leads. Omaha got out to a 7-point lead. Mastodons had a 6-point lead. We saw those both dissolve fairly quickly. So it's going to be a game of runs right here going into the second half. And the Mastodons need a good start. They need a good first 5 minutes to carry them through this second half.
You know, that's going to be a point of emphasis after they were blitzed in the second half early on at South Dakota State last Sunday. And by the way, that was not a typo. Only 1 assist in the first 20 minutes for Omaha. He had only 3 turnovers to help keep him in this one and have us tied.
You know, something I've always talked about is the urgency and the fire for the Mastodons, and they need to come out with that. I was talking to Brett on the radio side before the game. Sunday, they gave up a 40-7 run in the second half. So they need a great start here.
Starts with a foul against Dylan Carl, who's replaced by Cameron Benford, and that's the second on Carl. And we'll see if Omaha can get Matt Pyle going inside here after he sat for half of the first half. Gibson. Still a lid from the outside, really, for both sides.
You know, now 2 for 11 in the game now for Omaha. I don't know if that's really the shot Coach Hansen's looking for to start the second half.
Gibson has been in a prolonged slump. A guy who the last couple of years shot about 39% from 3 has seen that percentage drop down to about 30%. After a turnover, though, for Purdue Fort Wayne, Omaha has it still looking for the first points of the second half. Omaha led by JT Gibson, who's got the rock right now, and KJ Robinson, a duo of seniors who both have eclipsed 1,000 points for their career. Godfrey the takeaway. And won't drop, but he's headed to the line.
Kind of sloppy start by both ends right here. Here's where Jared's got to connect on these free throws. Anytime the Mastodons get to the free throw line tonight, they got to connect, because it's going to be a tight game the rest of the way. Anything free they can get, they got to take advantage of.
They were 6 for 9 at the line in the first half. Interesting to note there, you can see from that angle, Jared standing not right up against that white stripe at the line, a few inches back as he is trying to up his free throw percentage.
That's interesting. I've never noticed that.
Oh, it worked that time.
That somebody stands that far off the line.
So for Godfrey, a 67% foul shooter, both of those good, and the lead is 2 for the Dons.
Hands off, Dad.
Matt Pyle left it short.
Good defense by Cam Benford that time. He stood his ground. He stayed on the ground and kept his hands up.
John Kaufman says great look there for Matt Holba. He's now 2 of 6 from 3. A double at Pyle in the post. He gets it back. Pretty bounce pass to Wanyang Tut.
That's the price you gotta kind of pay. When you double or triple somebody in the low post, that's going to leave somebody open on the opposite side, and Matt Pyle was able to find him there.
Stoppage right now. You can see the shot clock is still at 30, even though the ball was in play there. We wait for them to reset the shot clock. 2 seconds taken off.
And Cam kind of rolled his ankle or something that time. He had to come running off the floor.
Athletic trainer Nick Antonelli checks in with him over there in the corner. Pick and pop. Hulba kicks for Godfrey. A pro hop, and he'll head back to the line.
So good job by Jared getting to the basket now 2 times, getting to the free throw. Got to knock down those free throws here in the second half.
The sophomore from Atlanta has been a workhorse, 3rd in the league in minutes per game.
Closing in on 500 points for the season as well.
Yeah, and nearing in on 1,000 points for his career. 7th in the league in assists, 11th in points per game, top 10 in steals. A candidate for one of the All-Summit League teams that'll be voted on at the end of the month.
I would think he'd be a strong candidate for first team, don't you think?
Plenty of talent in the Summit League this year. How about that rack attack for Zach Thornhill? He's going to the line. Wouldn't be surprised considering that Purdue Fort Wayne is in the bottom half of the league standings right now. If, as a result, Godfrey, who has had to carry a big load for the Mastodons, only a sophomore, would probably think that he wouldn't wind up on that first team. But definitely a contender.
But usually a focal point for the opponent. I always talk about they got to contain Jared Godfrey on the offensive end.
Well, Thornhill has been a good glue guy for Omaha. Gets 1 of 2. Pyle hedges, and it's out off Omaha.
Come on, man. Foul. Nothing. Right there. Here you go. Fire. Fire. Hey, clean that up so we're not dealing with that in the last 30 minutes.
An interception. Thornhill falls down. How about the hustle of Hulba? And it's a foul against Wanyang Tut. Matt Hulba right there. Not afraid to sacrifice his body for the good of the team.
That was a great hustle by Matt right there, getting on the floor, but what caused that was the hustle and the sprint back by Deontay Billups, stopping the ball, making him pick up his dribble, and then Matt Hulba following it up and getting on the floor, picking up the loose ball.
That's me when they bring out the tray of fries in the cafeteria. Dylan Carl going to work. Patrick came out of nowhere. He hits the floor hard. It's 5-on-4, a power play for Omaha. Carl thought he had the tie-up. Instead, it's 2 fingers raised, not for a jump ball. And it's a foul on Carl, number 11, his 3rd. And Cam Benford, who was getting evaluated by athletic trainer Nick Antonelli, calls back into duty. Demir Black will also enter the game for Brian Patrick. Dons will make sure that Patrick is okay. Gibson, good luck, and he buries it.
That's good elevation that time by JT Gibson on the perimeter jumper. Great follow through.
It's been a seesaw game. Omaha back ahead. Deontay Billups. Offensive rebound for Cameron Benford and a foul on the floor. Billups nearly just jumped out of the gym.
No fear on Deontay that time, taking it over the big 6'8", 240-pound Matt Pyle.
In Fort Wayne, it's the Mastodons and the Mavericks locked in another good one. Summit League hoops in the Summit City.
This little pumpkin's BB. She's my baby, and that's why I'm here.
All right, looking for something pooch-friendly?
Yes, I want pumpkin here to feel safe and snuggly when I want to feel rugged.
Well, we got plenty of Jeeps, Durangos, plenty of room for the dog in the back.
How many will fit comfortably?
7 or 8 adults.
How many dogs?
Oh, 11, 12.
Shotgun, BB.
13.
Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. We've been fetching deals since 1979.
Drive a Scat Pack Dodge Charger over 10,000 off MSRP with Dodge Power Dollars at Glenbrook Dodge.
Oh, she got a little too excited.
I'll get a towel.
My philosophy has always been, what would I do if this was my mother?
You have the blessing from God to know that you're serving in a capacity that you truly love. This isn't a job to me.
They're coming to us at their most vulnerable. They're coming to us at a time when they're dealing with something totally unexpected.
And when you see people go through that every day, it kind of gives you motivation to be your best.
We have some of the best clinical staff that I have ever worked with in my 20-some years of healthcare.
Busy time on the Purdue Fort Wayne campus, that time of year where you have both winter and spring sports overlapping, and congratulations to one of those spring sports that recently got underway, baseball, and new head coach Doug Schreiber 3-1 after a successful weekend at Longwood University in Virginia. They'll be playing at Miami, Ohio coming up, and then otherwise men's volleyball at home here in conference play. Women's basketball will have their turn to host Omaha on Saturday for their pink out game, and looking ahead next weekend, the Summit League Championships here at the Lutheran Health Fieldhouse. Deontay Billups for 3, bullseye.
Great call by Coach Kaufman coming out of timeout, setting up Deontay for a long jump shot for the three-pointer.
And just like that, Purdue Fort Wayne regains the lead. We've had 8 lead changes and 5 ties, per usual in this rivalry. JT Gibson. Still Omaha ball.
It'll be kind of interesting to see in the next few years, after Fort Wayne's been in the Summit League now for several years, if they keep some of these games and relationships in the non-conference season. Fort Wayne goes to the Horizon League.
Yeah, interestingly enough, next year there's already been a partnership formed between the Summit League and the Horizon League, kind of like your ACC Big Ten Challenge. Now that said, not a definite that Purdue Fort Wayne will be one of the featured teams next year. Time will tell.
Just to play, a non-conference game earlier in the year, since you got relationships that are built, I would think maybe you'd want to keep some of those relationships, especially maybe the closer schools. Maybe play home and home with them year after year.
Shovel pass from Benford to Billups. Godfrey. That's a foul over the back on Cameron Benford. I'm not sure if you were saying, though, tongue-in-cheek, some of the closer opponents from the Summit League. That's an oxymoron, with Western Illinois 6 hours away being the closest.
Tongue-in-cheek, definitely.
Macedons had their final trip out to the Dakotas this past weekend. They were in both games against the top 2 teams in the league, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, but fell in both. Meanwhile, Omaha recently had its own road woes, had a 4-game skid that they snapped against last place Denver on Sunday. It's the Mavericks right now, middle of the pack in the Summit League. Purdue Fort Wayne in 7th out of 9. This is a battle as seeding starts to sort itself out in advance of the Summit League tournament in March. Cameron Benford just picked up 2 fouls in a matter of 6 seconds. Josh Nkumsa, the 3rd-string big man, in for the 2nd time tonight. Pinballed out of bounds, and it stays with the Mavs.
See that time, Purdue Fort Wayne front in the low post, or Tion Rollins sneaking over on the backside, on the weak side, and for the weak side help tipped it out of bounds.
Tion Rollins and Josh Nkumsa right now playing in a 1-possession game, second half. Not something that the Macedons have said many times this year, well, looking for a spark deeper from the bench. And back and forth, this game continues to go. Deontay Phillips, the freshman, is the only starter on the floor, and he scores it.
A little up and under move, good ball fake, went right underneath him and scored it.
Robinson, no good, underhanded. The Macedons are in transition. Tiana Rollins trying to knife through, turns it over. Marlon Ruffin, no! Kyle, yes, with authority.
Right when he's been quiet most of the night, he's right there to tip one in for the dunk.
Marcus D. Berry throws it up, no. Ruffin, outlet, Robinson, Wild, rebound Phillips. 5-on-4 for the Macedons. Rollins just threw that one right away, and it leads to nothing on the other side.
Up and down right now, John. Both teams, you can see, getting a little winded. Cannot turn over the ball right here. They need a score.
D. Berry, corner three.
Good job by Marcus that time in the corner.
The fifth-year senior with a clutch shot midway through the second half.
Be interesting to see if Marcus can hit that century mark. 1,000 points for his career in the next few weeks.
Closing in on it at 979 career points now, stretching back to his time at Northern Arizona. Black has it plucked away. Darius Hughes gets up. And he ties it up at 46. He was one of the top recruits out of the state of Missouri last year. A promising freshman. Not a back-to-back case for D. Berry.
Something amazing about this Omaha team. I look through their roster. They got 2 Mr. Basketballs on this team.
Kyle from Kansas, one of them. Robinson from the elbow, and Kumsa hauls down the board.
Both teams starting to labor a little bit. The pace has picked up.
And this is a 5 on the floor for Purdue Fort Wayne right now that possibly has never played together in a conference game this season. Look at the scorers table right now. It's like a pickup scene where everyone's waiting for who's got next. And we'll get to see him here as Nkumsa is called for the foul. Leads to a break in the action.
Well-deserved break.
What do you know? Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Omaha tied up midway through the second half. Buckle up. It's another good one between the Mavs and the Macedons.
Of getting cash back in your pocket with every purchase you make? With a Visa Rewards credit card from Fort Financial, you can earn 1% back on everything you buy. And a low introductory rate of just 3.9% APR, with no annual fees or balance transfer fees, so you can consolidate debt. You even get online access to view transactions or pay bills. Stop by your local branch or fortfinancialcu.org today. Fort Financial. It's time to live your dreams.
Every time you show up, you make the game, and they make history. March 28th and 30th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nothing beats the crowd. Visit ncaa.com/WBB tickets to get your seats today.
Saturday for Purdue Fort Wayne women's basketball. It's not only senior day, but also the program's 13th annual Pink Out game to support the Vera Bradley Foundation for Breast Cancer. The event includes a pregame luncheon, and it's all free for breast cancer survivors who will be celebrated. Learn more at gomastodons.com.
Halfway through the second half here, John. Not much has changed. Still a tie ball game. The pace has picked up a little bit. Both teams playing a little more aggressively going down the stretch.
We've had 6 ties and 12 lead changes so far. We're even midway through this second half. As JT Gibson misfires from deep, Matt Holba once again is on the floor. Their senior leadership. A giveaway. The Mavericks in transition. Marlon Ruffin. Offensive rebound for Wanyang Tut. And Omaha regains the lead.
It was totally uncontested that time on the offensive glass there for Omaha. Purdue Fort Wayne just kind of took a break and gave him an easy one.
It all started with a turnover in a bad spot, top of the key. Demir Black almost stripped by JT Gibson and then thrown away.
2 quick turnovers here in the last 2 possessions. Gets the Mastodons up to 13 turnovers for the game.
On the other side, Omaha with only 6 turnovers. This one has not been a work of art, but both teams playing exceptionally hard. Feels like neither side has taken a possession off all night. Ayo Akinwole high off the window. It's the first time that either side has led by multiple possessions all second half.
Right here, Purdue Fort Wayne, they need an answer, but they throw it away again. 3 possessions, 3 turnovers in a row.
Fix it! Fix it!
Sets up Thornhill.
Going to get a timeout here from Coach Kaufman. He's been stomping his foot the last couple times on these turnovers. He's going to get after his team a little bit here at the timeout.
8-0 run for the Mavericks on the road. We'll take a timeout. Purdue Fort Wayne in danger at home.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
This is a place where compassion lives. Strength does too. Experience, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to caring for hearts of all ages. This is Lutheran Heart Center, where an elite team of professionals comes together to work as one. From preventive screenings to complex procedures, advanced and comprehensive heart care lives here.
Mastodon basketball is brought to you in part by OPS. Rethink your limits. The beautiful Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Bridge, a gateway to downtown Fort Wayne, just a few miles away tonight on the campus of Purdue Fort Wayne. It's the Mastodons hosting the Omaha Mavericks. This one has been tight throughout. All of a sudden, though, Omaha on an 8-0 run to take a 6-point lead, largest lead for either side since midway through the first half.
I have a dream too. Don't turn over the ball anymore here in the second half. Major turnovers are turning into points right now for Omaha. And the Mavericks are extremely comfortable right now in the Gate Center.
One of the lesser-known speeches for former Indiana Tech head coach Jeff Parrish. Shot clock at 2 as Carl had nothing to do. It'll go down as a shot clock violation.
It's a turnover, in my estimation.
Mounting for the Mastodons. Gibson got a step on Phillips, but lost the ball.
He's got to take it hard to the hoop.
Godfrey, good.
Good body control by Jared that time. 3 Mavericks chasing him down. He was able to get the ball up. Good body control. That's strength right there out of the 6'4 guard, 6'5 guard.
Godfrey, the high scorer in this game now with 13. It's been well balanced on both sides.
And a turnover by the Mavericks.
Opening the door back up for the Dons. On the pick and roll, that's off of Carl. Out of bounds, Omaha ball when we come back. The under 8 media timeout. Purdue Fort Wayne trying to snap a 2-game skid against the rival Omaha Mavericks. Purdue Fort Wayne basketball. Buy your tickets now.
In its 4th decade, the Summit League continues its ascent through excellence in the classroom and success in the field of play. In cities big and small, at public and private universities, more than 120,000 students across 9 institutions reach for the summit. From academic All-Americans to NCAA champions and nationally ranked teams, Summit League student athletes achieve the pinnacle of success. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
A look across the street at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, which will play host to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Regional Saturday, March 28th and Monday, March 30th. The winner of that regional final will advance to the Women's Final Four in New Orleans. Get your tickets now at ncaa.com.
You realize, John, that the regional coming to Fort Wayne, even though it's women's, Fort Wayne's going to be on the national map for that whole weekend. Leading up to that as well through the NCAA tournament for the women's. That's going to be a big to-do thing here for Fort Wayne, and I hope Fort Wayne embraces this opportunity big time because it's a major activity coming to Fort Wayne.
Absolutely. Those games will be broadcast nationally on ESPN.
Both teams got the little bit of a turnover bugaboo here. Let's see if the timeout will clean things up here the last 7 minutes of the game.
A whistle and a foul. See Cam Benford replacing Dylan Carl. Foul was on Marcus DeBerry, his first, and he checks out with Brian Patrick there replacing him. KJ Robinson has been money at the line this year. 88%, but then an offensive rebound. And a backcourt violation. For context, by the way, Robinson second in the Summit League in foul shooting. Omaha hasn't been in the line much tonight, just 3 for 5. Purdue Fort Wayne 10 of 13. It's a long two for Brian Patrick, and he cans it.
Coming off that ball screen, he had his eyes on the prize and ready to shoot that.
Back to a 2-point game after Omaha went up by 6.
With consecutive turnovers by Omaha, leads to Purdue Fort Wayne buckets, but an easy one right there for Omaha in the lane.
JT Gibson answering. Gibson has a dozen to lead Omaha. Holba on the drive. No, Benford had the offensive rebound, but it was the result of an offensive foul before that.
And it's going to put 4 fouls both on Dylan Carl and Cameron Benford here with 6:08 left. Coach Kaufman's going to go back with the 6'11" Dylan Carl.
Have seen Josh and Kumsa some tonight down low as well.
Everybody's got a job here in the white box.
Omaha now in the 1-and-1 bonus. It's Marlon Ruffin.
You don't see too many players wearing glasses anymore when they play.
Off the mark there for Ruffin, a sophomore from Madison, Wisconsin. Well, they certainly are, though, nowadays. Trendier looking than the old rec specs, right? Ruffin with the left hand, had that altered by Patrick. You ever play with your glasses on?
I only started wearing glasses a few years ago, just so I could read. It's funny, I can read the banners on the other side of the arena, but I can't read the paper in front of me. So is that called what? Nearsighted or farsighted?
An update on Jeff's vision here in 2020. 54-50, Omaha the advantage. Matt Holba, the baseline drive, and he scores.
That's right there, one of the strongest moves I've seen Matt Holba all year, taking the ball to the basket. Got loose on the baseline and took it right to the rim. That was a strong, aggressive move by Matt.
A determined senior. Pyle almost lost it. It's Gibson in the corner. How about the box out by Jared Godfrey against Matt Pyle? But a foul will be called against Godfrey, who's given up a few inches and 50-plus pounds against the big man Pyle.
Kind of got underneath him that time and sends Matt Pyle to the line. Not their best free throw shooter by far. Only 48%.
Yeah, it's an Achilles heel in his game as a guy who averages a double-double. Not even close. Omaha now 3 for 7 at the line, and they've missed the front end of a 1-and-1 on 3 consecutive tries. And the Dons make them pay. Offensive foul on Dylan Carl. And that'll be it. Check that. That'll only be his 4th foul. So now Carl and Benford both with 4 with 4:42 to go. That's a tough call.
I thought he was moving. I thought that was a blocking foul all the way. I thought that Mastodon should be getting the ball out of bounds underneath.
Instead, it's Omaha looking to add to a 2-point lead.
We'll see if there'll be a makeup call here real quick on the other end.
Robinson fouled, shooting a 3. Purdue Fort Wayne throughout this season has had more than its fair share of instances of fouling 3-point shooters.
I think they ran into one last Sunday. Cam Bedford ran out and fouled the 3-point shooter, gave him a 4-point play.
And no question on that call. So it's Robinson the 88% foul shooter who missed one a couple minutes ago. Good on the first. From Blue Springs, Missouri, near Kansas City. The leading scorer and facilitator for this Omaha team. Tamir Black and Marcus DeBerry in. Robinson missed the first 3 games of the season for a violation of team rules, and after that came off the bench throughout the non-conference part of the schedule. But he has really elevated his game in Summit League play, back in the starting lineup. And Darren Hansen says he's really proud of the way that the senior has matured. Robinson himself acknowledging that he was humbled by that experience, and right now trying to carry his team to a road win. Godfrey, big 3. Loose ball out to Black. 5-point game, 4 minutes to go. Billups. A whistle away from the ball as Zach Thornhill is down on his backside. Thornhill, a guy who has missed most of the last 2 seasons due to hip injuries, will be helped off by his teammates. We'll take a timeout here as well. Under 4 to go, 5-point game. The Mavericks and the Mastodons. Late February hoops in the Summit City.
Purdue Fort Wayne basketball. Buy your tickets now.
In its 4th decade, the Summit League continues its ascent through excellence in the classroom and success in the field of play. In cities big and small, at public and private universities, more than 120,000 students across 9 institutions reach for the summit. From academic All-Americans to NCAA champions and nationally ranked teams, Summit League student athletes achieve the pinnacle of success. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
Godfrey and Purdue Fort Wayne right now down by 5 with 3:53 to go, but no fault of Godfrey, the sophomore from Atlanta, our player of the game tonight for the Mastodons, brought to you by Connor's Kitchen and Bar, and Godfrey filling up the box score per usual.
13 points, great night from the free throw line, 4 for 4, 4-11 from the field, but he's only made 1 3-pointer out of 7 attempts. But he's had a lot of open looks. He's got to take that shot, especially when he's got the open look. And Coach Kaufman, we've heard him time and time again say, good look, good look, good look. And he needs to keep continuing to shoot that ball up there when he's open.
Yeah, and one thing that we should note is that while this game is, as expected, really tight here between Purdue Fort Wayne and Omaha, it comes in contrast to the shootouts that these guys became accustomed to playing for several years. Purdue Fort Wayne right now with the mentality of trying to win ugly, and for Omaha, a similar script as both teams have not shot it well, but have played with some grit.
But you can probably see now from Omaha, they're going to try to work the clock a little bit, take that shot clock down within 10 seconds before they shoot it.
A teardrop for KJ Robinson, doesn't drop, and the Mastodons take it over.
They need good possessions here, quality possessions on the offensive end. No turnovers. Can't afford turnovers here with 3:20 left.
We've had 13 lead changes, 6 ties. The turnovers have been a factor. Godfrey, a kick out. Hold with a shot fake. Big rejection.
You can see Omaha walking the ball up here now, run that clock.
Pyle with the block there, the league leader in that category, has been relatively quiet tonight, but allowed defensive play when his team needed it.
Only disadvantage right here for the Mastodons right now. They got 10 fouls here in the half. And everything's going to be two-shot foul, but they got to block out first and get the loose ball.
Pyle rising to the occasion. Timeout, Purdue Fort Wayne. Omaha matching the largest lead tonight for either side at 7 with only 2:24 left. Matt Pyle. Earlier today, already scored a win of sorts. For a second year in a row, he was named an academic all-district. Last year, he was an academic all-American. And hey, anytime a student puts up a GPA of merit like that, tip your cap. But Matt Pyle's not studying twiddly-dinks. A chemistry major who has aspirations of becoming an anesthesiologist. While he's not an all-Summit League type player, a couple times a week volunteers at the local hospital in Omaha, and a huge swing with a block shot on one end and then that basket on the other right now to create some breathing room for Omaha as we take a look at a game reset brought to you by Polypro Concrete Coatings.
Right here, the Mastodons got to be super efficient offensively. They need scores, they need baskets. Get to the free throw line anyway. You can see Jared Godfrey right there on the clear out, getting all the way to the basket for the score. Now they need stops. They got to be aggressive.
5-point game.
Aggressive without fouling, if that's possible.
Tough shot for Ruffin. Dons can make it a one-possession game. Holba is fouled. Only the 5th foul, though, against Omaha. Mastodons not yet in the bonus.
Right here, try to find Jared. Popping out to the top of the key here, getting the ball and possibly a ball screen and get him to the basket. You can see the Mastodons going low, and here's the ball screen.
DeBerry, corner three. Won't go. Hung up there above the rim. And now the Dons need a stop.
10th rebound right there for Matt Pyle.
He'll fall shy of a double-double with only 4 points so far. And still at 4. Good post defense from the Mastodons. 5-point game, 1:05 to go. Skip pass, sets it up for Godfrey.
Huge shot by Jared. Good ball movement by the Mastodons, finding Jared open at the top of the key, his favorite spot to shoot the ball.
Holba with the hockey assist, Phillips the true assist. Timeout, Omaha. Well, both of these teams have been in more than their fair share of tight games this season. Both have struggled to close things out, especially on the road. Omaha this year, just 2-12 outside of Nebraska, with one of those wins, though, being at Washington State. One of the losses, though, against Denver. That's the only league win for Denver. Get a check of our Summit League standings brought to you by Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. Omaha there right in the middle, while Purdue Fort Wayne trying to make a late push. For the Mastodons, they get to host Denver next week on Wednesday, senior night. And then their final game will be at Oral Roberts a couple Saturdays away. And for Omaha, they'll continue their road trip after tonight at Western Illinois. That'll be a Saturday afternoon game, so a tough turnaround for them considering the travel. And then they close out hosting North Dakota and playing at North Dakota State.
Right here, the Mastodons, they really don't need to foul right now. They got plenty of time. They just need to play straight up hard defense, keep the ball out of the lane, make them shoot a jump shot. They can
Ball in the hands of KJ Robinson.
They could put a little pressure on him, though.
DeBerry with the swat of Robinson. It's out of bounds, and it'll be Omaha ball with 9 on the shot clock.
They're still in good shape. They could not let the ball get into the post to Pyle.
Dons will not guard the inbounder. Now DeBerry does shade to the inbounder. Lobbed in for Pyle. DeBerry with the steal. DeBerry ties the game. Timeout Dons with 24.7 to go.
That's called anticipation right there by Marcus. See him out there getting in the passing lane. Got that hand in the lane. Tip out and a run out.
What a defensive sequence for the senior Marcus DeBerry. Had the blocked shot, then the steal, and it leads to a layup, tying the game with 24.7 seconds to go. The 7th tie tonight, along with 13 lead changes.
I think where that thing went bad for Omaha was when Matt Pyle had to catch the ball way out on the perimeter. He was so uncomfortable with it, got his body twisted around, had to make an uncomfortable pass, and then Marcus there in the passing lane to tip it out.
This is a 7-0 run for the Mastodons to tie it up. And now the shot clock will be off. And in that Omaha huddle, Darren Hansen trying to draw up a game winner.
Right here with Mastodons, they got some timeouts to burn yet if they get in trouble. The main thing is you don't want to foul. No fouls, just play straight up hard, get down in your stance and move. Stay in front of the ball. Make them shoot. If they're going to shoot, make them beat you from the perimeter, not from the inside.
Uncanny how competitive this series has been over the last 9 years. They've had 5 games go to overtime, and 12 in a row have been decided by single digits. Well, I think it's safe to say now you can make that 13 straight.
Right here, get down in a stance, don't foul. We don't want to put them on the line at the end of the game. Let them run that clock down as far as they want. The worst thing that can happen is overtime.
Akinwole on the drive. Good with 3.4 to go. Jared Godfrey fouled. What a heads-up play by Marlon Ruffin, knowing that Omaha had a foul to give. Currently the clock at .3. In all likelihood, time will be added. Would suspect it would be about a second or even a little bit more than that, in which the Mastodons will have a chance for a last-second shot to tie or win. How about Ayo Akinwole, a junior captain for Omaha, who earlier this year was in a starting role, of late has come off the bench. And regardless of whether or not he was starting, there he was closing and on the drive with the go-ahead shot.
Right there, we've talked about this so much. Stop penetration, stay in front of the ball. The Mastodons got on his side and they opened up that lane to the basket, right? Here's the foul in the replay. It's going to be less than a second. At that point, the officials haven't raised their arm.
Right, which is the part of an issue here.
You can see him grabbing him, but the officials have not made the call with even a second, even with...
Really, the foul is initially committed with 1.6. However...
They didn't call that
yes.
one. They called the second one. At .9, the official doesn't have his arm up in the air yet to call that. So I would say the clock has to stop once you see the official's arm go up in the air to call the personal foul. So that's going to put it at...
They'll set it at 1.1.
That's a gift in my book, isn't it? from what I can see here, they did not call the foul at 1.1. They called the foul less than 0.9.
All right, so with the 1.1 to go, what do you draw up?
We got two options. You can get Jared Godfrey coming off the baseline screen, catching the ball at the top of the key, or do you want to take the chance and lob it on the inside? Myself, I'm looking for Jared Godfrey coming off a screen, off the baseline, possibly for the jump shot.
Brian Patrick will be the inbounder. And before he tosses it in, timeout called by Omaha.
And if you could see there briefly with the setup, you had Jared Godfrey lining up on the baseline, on the block, but he was on the ball side. So that's going to be kind of hard unless he's going to come off a double screen and loop around. If he would come off of a double screen from the weak side on the opposite side of the ball, look for Matt Holba to slip the screen and be open underneath the basket.
Last year, by the way, Holba had a couple of game winners. He had a buzzer beater at Cleveland State, also had a last-second game-winning three at Oral Roberts. Don's trying to end a two-game skid, continue a two-game home court winning streak, while Omaha has lost 4 of 5, just 2-12 on the road this year. What a game.
And when you talked about the Gate Center, 56-22 for the Mastodons. It's a good place for the Mastodons to play.
Yeah, they've won about 75% of their home games.
Let's see how the Mastodons set up here coming out of the huddle. They were in a box around the free throw lane. Let's see if they continue that. They've changed it up now where Godfrey's going to take the ball out of bounds. So you got three shooters out there, Holba, Brian Patrick, and Deontay Billups.
1.1 to go. Billups for the win. Right on line. And instead, it winds up a dagger in the hearts of the Dons, who come up just short.
Just short that time, where you saw the Mastodons, they had 3 options that time to go to. Deontay being the open option, turn shot right on line, just a little bit too hard.
Tough.
I was really surprised that they switched the whole thing up and put Jared Godfrey taking the ball out of bounds and not looking for him as one of the options.
Tough pill to swallow for the Mastodons. We'll step aside, and when we come back, wrap up a tough loss for the Dons at home to Omaha.
In its 4th decade, the Summit League continues its ascent through excellence in the classroom and success in the field of play. In cities big and small, at public and private universities, more than 120,000 students across 9 institutions reach for the summit. From academic All-Americans to NCAA champions and nationally ranked teams, Summit League student athletes achieve the pinnacle of success. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and round.
At Diamond Residential Mortgage, we understand the importance of keeping pace with technology, and we offer a completely digital loan process to our customers who choose to take advantage of that option. But we also understand the magnitude of a home purchase, and one of our loan officers will work with you every step of the loan process to make sure all your questions are answered and the right type of loan is tailored to fit your needs. See Diamond Residential Mortgage.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
Every time you show up, you make the game, and they make history. March 28th and 30th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nothing beats the crowd. Visit ncaa.com/WBB tickets to get your seats today.
Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Omaha nearly went to overtime yet again. They played 5 overtime games over the last 9 years. This one came down to the very last second, and Omaha prevails on the road, 61-59 the final. Let's take a look at that last-second shot for the Mastodons that nearly won it.
See several options. You got Holba on the lob, Brian Patrick going to the corner, and Deontay Billups open at the top there.
I thought it was going in from our angle, but just long. And that reaction from Dylan Carl and the rest of the Mastodons really expresses it. A gutting loss, but one in which the Mastodons will have to brush aside. And the good news is they do have some time to recover. Well, I guess depending on your perspective, good news, but they'll be home again next Wednesday. It'll be a special night as it'll be the regular season home finale, and that means senior night and a chance to recognize Marcus D. Berry as well as Matt Holba. And a check of our final numbers brought to you by Polypro Concrete Coatings. Like we said at one point, not a work of art. Ugly shooting percentages for both sides, yet you really have to admire the intensity and effort with which both teams played. And in the end, the Mastodons couldn't quite overcome the poor shooting coupled with all the turnovers.
I think one of the things that sticks out to me is the 19 turnovers. They continue to mount the second half for Purdue Fort Wayne. I believe at halftime they only had 6, if I recall right. End up with 19. 17 points on turnovers for Omaha. And another stat that I kind of just figured out, Omaha got 13 more shots than the Mastodons here tonight. There's your difference. They got 13 more shots. The percentages you can see are basically the same from field goals, but taking 13 more shots, that was a huge, huge difference there. That drops Purdue Fort Wayne to 5-9 in the standings. I'm not really sure if they can move out of that spot now with the 9 losses, even though they do have the bottom team in the conference, Denver, coming in. Hopefully they can get one there. They should be able to get one there. And then they got to go to Oral Roberts, and that's not going to be any picnic either.
Yeah, well, I guess to look at the sunny side of things, if you're a Mastodons fan, law of averages says at some point one of these tight games, they've got to come out on the other side. But a tough loss here tonight, and credit Omaha for pulling out a win on the road. So for the Dons, like we said, home here against Denver come next Wednesday. Tickets available online at gomastodons.com. And then one more road game remaining in the regular season, a couple Saturdays away at Oral Roberts before the Summit League tournament in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, starting March 7th with the championship game set for Tuesday the 10th.
Hey, get out here next week. Last home game. It's senior night. It's always an exciting night. It's usually a great crowd here in the Gates Center, a loud crowd for that game. And hopefully the Mastodons can get on the winning edge here last home game.
And the upcoming schedule brought to you by Evans Toyota. Well, that does it for us here tonight. We appreciate you spending part of your Thursday night alongside us. That does it for my broadcast partner, Jeff Parrish, and everyone behind the scenes on our crew in the truck, including our director, Doug Ferguson, as well as Matt Hentz on replay, Lana Ferguson on graphics, and Steve Wright controlling the audio. This is John Nolan saying thanks and so long from the Gates Sports Center. This has been a presentation of Mastodon Basketball from Learfield IMG College.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.